Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's Nugget. This week is going to be a little bit different. What we're going to do is create a Zoom background, something like this one, using a tool we probably all have on our computers, PowerPoint. We can actually create any kind of shape or anything like that, save it as a picture, as a JPEG, and then use it wherever you would use a JPEG. It's actually really super cool. So let's get started. Okay, so we are going to go into just an ordinary PowerPoint presentation here, and we're going to create maybe some pictures, maybe some shapes, maybe some text. I'm going to go into insert, pictures. There's some different areas that I can get pictures from. If it was something like my logo, I would probably have it on my computer, so I would say this device. I'm going to go into some stock images, and let's just say that I have a restaurant and pizza is my main dish. There's some here. I love this first one here, and I like to pick that one because that's going to be maybe kind of like my background. So if I pick it and then I make it smaller, well, that's going to kind of, I don't know if you like that or not. It's okay. Then you've got some blank space. So you can make it big. And by the way, I'm going to get rid of this stuff by going to Home and then going to my slide layout and say blank. And that'll get rid of all those placeholders back there. Now, I like it here because what it does with my design ideas, it's saying, hey, would you like to make that the whole width and length of the screen? And I'm like, yeah, I do. That might be harder for me to do by myself because it's kind of constraining it there, isn't it? So I love these things. They look, sometimes I just redo my vision just because I want to use one of these. So if it didn't ask you like that, hey, do you want it nice and big, then you could have just drug it yourself. So that's step number one, is to pick some kind of picture. We're choosing to do a background on mine here. I didn't do a background. I just had one. It fit on the bottom half of my picture. Okay, I'm going to add another picture to this. So I'm going to go insert pictures. This time I'm going to go online pictures. And I'm going to say happy person pizza, because maybe I'd like to have a person with a pizza. And I get a lot of these photos. And so what I like to do sometimes, I like to go up here to this little funnel and I like to say clip art. And you just get a little bit more cute stuff that way. You're not trying to, I mean, if it was a serious presentation, maybe you wouldn't want this. So I'm going to look in here and, oh, there's a cute little guy right there. Insert. He actually looks like he might have been cooking that pizza. I'm going to make him a little bit smaller. Maybe he's going to be sort of in the top corner. And then finally, I'm going to put our text there. I'll go in my home tab. I can go to shapes and there's a text box right there. And I'm going to click it there. I can move it later if I want. Joanne's Pizza. And I'm going to Control A to select it all. I'm going to go back to home and I make it bigger, maybe make it a fancy font. There's all sorts that you can do. And it doesn't really help too much to make that box bigger. You can just make it bigger. If I want it to stop wrapping, then I can make the box bigger. But you still have to do it that way. Okay. So this will, I'm not going to lie, probably take you 4 or 5 tries to see if it's going to work. And try to imagine your big head in the middle of that, like mine is now. Some people will purposely have their cameras pointed like this so that later they, you have a nice big view of that. Me, I just have it in the middle, and I mean, I might move it over afterwards. It doesn't matter. The point of it is that you can do it really quickly in PowerPoint. Now, what are we going to do with it in PowerPoint? We're going to save it as a picture. So don't think of this only as something like Zoom, but you could even build a logo yourself, or you could build anything that you want to be able to have as a picture. So I'm going to click anywhere in the middle here. I'm going to go Control A, And I can kind of see that I've got my big pizza, I've got my text, and I've got my little guy there all selected. Now watch what happens if I right click on any of them. Do you see it? Save as picture. So I can click on that and I can give it a name. So I can call it Joe's Pizza, Joe Pizza background. And I usually save it as a JPEG. You're going to save it probably somewhere better than just in your pictures, I hope. I'm going to save it there for now. And you'll also want to save your presentation. So that just kind of took this and saved it as a picture. This presentation has not been saved. So you'll want to save this for when you want to go and make changes. You want to make this smaller. You kind of like the idea of when this was in 2 lines, not like that, right? You want to be able to go back to your PowerPoint and make a change. So you will want to save this. So I'm going to go to Zoom now, and this is not really part of the course, is to show you how to change your background, but I just want to show you what this one would look like. So you would just go in beside your video and say choose virtual background. And if you're in Teams or something else, and it's a little bit different. So I'm just finding it here. There it is, Joe's Pizza background, open. And now you can see it. So are you surprised at which side the pizza came out on? Are you surprised at the little guy? It probably looks exactly like what it is, but sometimes people have to go back and forth a little bit. And I was kind of right. I'll unshare here so that you can get a better idea of what that looks like. Does that look cool? Like that looks like you paid like $500 for that. That almost looks better than mine. I think I'll redo mine now. So you can see that you would probably want to go back to your PowerPoint and change it up a little bit. You'd probably want to go in and maybe make this maybe a little bit smaller and maybe have it go a little bit more over to the left because you can't really see it, right? Can't really see it. So now what would you do? You'd select them all again. You'd right click, save as picture, and you're probably going to want to give it the same name. So I'm going to go down to JPEG and I'm going to say Joe Pizza background, and it's going to say, hey, you already have one. And I'm going to go, yes, I know. So now I'm going to go back to Zoom and I will choose virtual background. And remember, if you're trying this and it's not working, it's because you either don't have a green screen or your computer is not really powerful enough. It needs to have an i5 or an i7 processor in order to do virtual backgrounds. So, wow, that is looking great. Look at that. Okay, so I don't have the little guy up there. So that tells me that I probably unselected him when I was doing mine. And I can see here, I don't have him selected. So be very careful when you go Control A there, that everything's selected. So just be sure of that. So I'll right click one more time, save as picture. And I don't want people thinking that, oh, it's not working in my Zoom, so this is a skill that I will never use. This could be something, this could be your placemats at your pizza restaurant, right? You could have your website at the bottom, whatever. Like this is going to be something that you can use now. You can email this to somebody. You can put it on some marketing materials, anything. So let's just quickly look at it one more time here. I'm just adding it. There it is. And I'll stop sharing and you can take one more look at it. There you go. So you can move it around a little bit more if you don't like where those olives are or whatnot. You can play with it a little bit more. But I hope you have fun with that and get a chance to try that out, whether it be for Zoom background or just for having a nice little graphic that you can now email to somebody. Thanks for watching. See you next time.